Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-da-da. Hey, it's TF2 again. Since last time I wasn't able to capture actual TF2 footage, I wanted to go ahead and just actually do that. And so I just recently did that. It was a fun time. It's not representative of how I was playing video games this week, but that's not really what I use these videos for. It's just fun to, like, for a brief little bit of time, do something different and visual stimulation. Hey, so this video is going out on a Thursday when it normally goes out on a Saturday. I don't really think that makes a difference to anybody, but I thought I would just call attention to it. I called off work today just because with how sick I felt, I'm like, I really don't want to get my other coworkers sick. And then also, having a break is good for the body, especially when your body is currently diseased. Yeah. So let's get into it. Oh man, I've also, like, it's 5 something and I've got a cup of coffee in front of me because I want to, oh lord, I did research on this a couple weeks ago and I want to say it's like 4 hours that caffeine stays in your body, and then after that you're good. And I was feeling really sleepy because I took a nap in the middle of the day. And I kind of wanted my evening to still be quasi-productive, so I'm going to lightly slip on this coffee as I go down. The reason I was talking about that is because, like, I'm doing this video and I haven't had a sip of my coffee yet, but it just smells so good. Hey, it tastes as good as it smells, at least to somebody who likes coffee. Maybe you're just like, oh lord, this is atrocious drink that I will never drink. To you I say, you'll come around to it. Anyways, so this week, personal. I know this past Sunday was super enjoyable for me. I got to spend a lot of time with my parents, and even just more so than normal. I think I ended up getting home at like 7 or something. I went to the flea market. I almost got a painting. The painting didn't really fit on my wall the way I wanted to, so I didn't go for it. So that was super enjoyable. And then also my dad got a surgery, but that went just fine for him, so I'm super happy. He has 2 weeks off that he's really been looking forward to. And then I think he works for a week. Yeah, and then we go to Thanksgiving, because we're like, he's been off for about a week now, and then we've got 2 weeks till we go up to Chicago, which is super exciting. I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah. I could almost just talk here for like 7 minutes about how excited I am about going to Chicago. I don't remember when it was. I think this was like last Wednesday that I bought birthday presents for my twin. That was also super fun. As always, I get outshowed by him. And then even now I have a new competitor, which is Lauren, who is apparently, from what I've seen, is super awesome with gifts. So I have to compete with her now. But I think I got good ones. We'll have to see. But I think I got good ones. I did that. And then also, this past Tuesday, we started a new D&D campaign. We did a West Marches campaign. This was something I had talked with the players about previously. It almost didn't happen this past session because it was kind of taking a bit to get started. And I kind of didn't want to, like, rush through it. But we did a nice little going on a goblin slaying campaign. That went just great. I don't really feel like anybody was too powerful. We have a new person. We have somebody trying out. Lord help me. What is it called? Unearthed Arcana? Yeah, somebody trying out an Unearthed Arcana class that I was a little bit worried about. But it ended up being kind of actually what I expected. Like, Lord help me, 2/3 of the attacks that character does require saves. So that's definitely if things get out of hand, there are definitely ways to address that. Oh, I have to make a dex save. But on the flip side, that's something I need to make sure I keep aware of in the future. Because if, like, his main attack requires people to make dex save, and then, like, all the monsters have, like, a +7 dex for some ungodly reason, that wouldn't be fun for the guy at all. I need to make sure that doesn't happen. Note to self. And then we'll see if it continues, but it was also just a thing of just, like, pretty much all the characters were using a voice, which was super fun. And then in the group chat beforehand, when we were talking about getting ready to it, everybody was responding to the text like RP. It was hilarious and I had a great time. I also might be playing in the next section, which we'll have to see how that goes. Yeah, because this will, I'm really not, like, I'm genuinely actually not sure how it's going to go, because often, like, I know in the past that I've played, people have really liked the D&D characters that I made, but the more I distance myself for it, part of the reason, or like part of the question that makes me wonder why they like playing with the characters, is I know that one thing that exists just as me as a person in real life is that when things are chaotic, I try and like get away from that and organize things and move in a direction. And so that would actually play out in my D&D characters as well, except normally what I would do is I would pick some motivation or a reason, and I would kind of get the group to go around that, which would normally mean some like gimmick that drives social interactions and stuff like that. But the short and skinny is that if we're playing in a campaign that is supposed to end where we start, and I know that the character is only going to be alive for one session, I don't really know if that strengthens how I play a character, or maybe, yeah, that's how I can say that sentence. Isaac, have confidence in yourself. Maybe if, like, that way that I play a character, I don't know if that'll really show it through. Or maybe that's just something I shouldn't worry about. It's D&D, just make something fun and go with it. Maybe I should follow the advice that I tell my players. But anyways, I think those are the notable things about my week. I know that today after class I sat down and had a really fun conversation with the president of the cyber club. He was eating Foozaxles probably for, let's see, this is the 5th day into the week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Wait, we count Sunday. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, this is the 5th day of the week, so I think he was eating Foozaxles for the 5th time. I wasn't eating Foozaxles, but it ended up being super nice. Not always. But sometimes I'm surprised with where our conversations can go when I sit down with him. It's surprised. Well, yeah. That sentence sounds like demeaning in a weird way. Almost like I'm surprised that the conversation can have depth. I mean it more in the way of, like, depth can be brought out of things that I didn't expect to have depth. I think that pretty much everybody I know right now is capable of having deep conversations, like when it is appropriate. Yeah, that's not always been the case. That's something that, like, that's one of those things that, like, when I wake up in the morning, I sit up and I'm like, I am blessed for this reason. I'm pretty quick to forget it, but if I think in the past, there have been times in my life where I'm just like, there are not people around me to have like conversations about these things, which can be hard sometimes. I think I repeat myself about this too often, but I think people have a base instinct that is the need to be heard. So whenever that can't happen, that's unfortunate. Anyways, I think I'm gonna move on now. I think I've said what I wanted to say. So this week in media. So I have foregone podcasts listening. I am a changed man. We are strictly an audiobook household. By the way, this is a thing. I'm hoping this syncs up. It should, but I'm hoping this syncs up with what's happening in the video. So this is actually a thing where you could see through the map, and it was broken and competitive. I think it was one of those things of you were just told not to do it with the actual competitive rule set, but it's nice to see that they actually fixed it in the map. Anyways, I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks, primarily just Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers right now. I don't know when I finish The Fellowship of the Ring. Maybe if I go back and watch my last week's video, I was just finishing it that week. But now I only have like 3 or 4, I think it's 3 hours. 3 hours left in The Two Towers, and it's super awesome. I like Gollum a lot more in the books than I do in the movies. I don't like Gollum in the movies. It's weird. Like, when I say it's weird, I'm not doing that thing. I'm just like, oh no, there's this thing that's popular in pop culture and I don't like. Haha, that's kind of weird. No, more of just like, I think that Gollum's a weird character. But I think he's, the guy in the audiobook does a good job. Yeah, exactly. So I guess, I will talk about, I will do my due diligence to talk about why I think it's weird. So in the book and in the movie, we'll talk with how the movie is. So basically, leading up before you meet Gollum, everybody's just like, Gollum's a horrible thing, and we should totally kill him if we see him. And then in the movie, suddenly they just meet Gollum, and Frodo's like, we should be friends. And then Gollum's like, I want to murder your throat. And Frodo's like, we should be friends. And it's kind of like, this seems disjointed. But in the book, there is a lengthy amount of time that's dedicated basically to where, like, Frodo and Sam, like, I have, like, they never really trust Gollum. And then at frequent points, Frodo is just like, Gollum, you're getting your darn stuff together and you are going to obey me because I have the ring and I am commanding you. Which I guess is just a nice turn of character. It's the same thing happens with Aragorn, actually, in the book a lot. Books a lot. Where the characters seem like pretty like down to earth for the most part, both Aragorn and Frodo, and they seem to really be peaceable among men, and others, other races. And then when like certain needs arise for authority, it talks about how the characters really like they seem bigger than they did before. I wonder if there's something there when it comes, because this was written during World War II, and J.R.R. Tolkien wrote about in his own prologue for the book about how he didn't like people. What is it? Analogy? I think it is analogy. He didn't like people reading analogy into his writing, but sometimes like it can be used for analogous purposes. So maybe if it's wondering, but then it was Theodore Roosevelt, who was the president, who was like, walk soft and carry a big stick, which would really be the idea that I'm thinking of when you have this hero or person who tends to be meek for the most part, but then when it's called for, they really do step up to the plate. Anyways, I digress. I'm really enjoying that book. Played a good bit of Guild Wars 2 this week. And I also played some Dota 2 with friends last night. That was super fun. Though actually, since I'm recording this on Thursday, I actually really haven't played too many video games this week because my video game schedule is very heavily weighed towards the weekend because Monday is D&D, Tuesday is Cyber Club, Wednesday is Fractal Night, which is actually a video game thing I do, but that's only about like an hour long. Thursday, I tend to Thursday tends to be the night that I kind of just like, I'm tired, so I kind of just do whatever. Though that normally just means like doing like Guild Wars dailies or something like that for like 40 minutes, maybe an hour. Friday is raid night, which actually tends to take like 2 or 3 hours. And then Friday, I just did Friday. Saturday, depending on how busy I am, is either a lot of video games or very little video games. That's really when I'm going to do something. I do it on Saturday for a long time. And then Sunday, I actually tend to really not play video games at all, because Sunday morning, I tend to really be at church early in the morning, and for most of the day, I'm in the afternoon, I'm at my parents' house, actually probably like most of the time that I can be. And then I guess in the evening, Sunday evening, I do a little bit. Anyways, just since it's Thursday, that means that I haven't really done anything. Though Tuesday night, since I was already feeling sick, I'm like, I do not feel like this. I stayed home from the Cyber Club meeting, and I think actually I ended up, I was just watching a YouTube video, and then a guy was dragging me into raiding because he said it would be super easy and I wouldn't need to be like focused on it, and he wasn't wrong. We didn't pass the boss, but it ended up being pretty okay. Man, the one thing that annoys me about raiding is when we are trying to pug a group, there are so many people, if we fail a pool, then they just like leave after that, and it's like, we've almost finished it, we just have to do this like one or two more times, but they leave, and then we have to spend time getting another player, getting them up to speed, anyways, and all those things. Anyways, I'm gonna end this now. I think this is the appropriate time. 14 minutes ago, I thought I was going to have a problem with content, and then I guess I'm just rambling now. So we'll have to see when I listen back to the audio if just like, you're just be like, this is atrocious. I didn't go anywhere. But actually, as it stands now, I'm pretty happy with it, and I think it'll be somewhat interesting, or at least I hope it is. And if it's not, thank you. Though I guess thank you either way. But anyways, doing that same thing that we did last week, I'm going to fade this out, you're going to see a black screen, and then you're going to hear a song that I was listening to this week that I enjoyed. Have a good one. God loves you.
There's a solution to every problem. And we're in this together, and I love you. And I don't want you to leave because we're here together, and We're not going to make it out alive without each other. Please don't go. Stay.
I chased away a prophecy, cause there's a side of me that subscribes to thrive in apathy. This blasphemy redeemed the seams inside of me, feeling better for the red letters and the sake of breaking from the fair weather to fulfill my capacity. When my love for anything is a mirage of joy with petty jokes and laughing. I wanted to be the next prophet, but once I got sick, I started chasing profits, performing for an audience and plotting this artifice of sacrifice and rolling dice to silence the mistress, kissing the lips of a nihilist. Every secret I've ever had is back on a discount rack for sale to a consumer that doesn't know any better. Living in this fair weather. Cause I can't love anything that doesn't look like me, but doesn't love like you. And I learned to love Jesus before I learned to love me. And now I can see why I have this fast-paced, in-your-face approach to grace, but no self-esteem. So I desperately sing, one time for the sake of payment, one time for the sake of rendering, one time for the sake of self-proclamation, but saying it's all for ministry, hindering the thinning of the petty weeks I spent writing and fighting the silence. The past doesn't change because the future tells it to, and I'm telling you, I'm selling you the swelling youth and melting skin within this dim-lit broken fist to finally bow and salute, cause I love you. And I fed a soul truth, made another excuse, because it's easier to say I love you too than to point blank say I love you. It's nothing but a broken melody, and I'm sorry, but I'm still listening, cause I was not smart enough to question this, but I was foolish enough to try. Once we get honest, it's so pretentious, but watered down is so cowardice. And I'm a little bit of both, trying to push a boulder up a mountain just to watch it fall, praying to God it doesn't fall again. Every thought that ate me alive was published for public consumption. Is there anything more pathetic than packaging honesty as entertainment? Existing in extremes, feeding pain and big dreams. We're the epitome of self-hate, while we're the epitome of self-praise, and none of us know what love means. So darling, salt the wound so I don't forget that every moment I'm not with you is a moment I'm in regret. And I love you now, but I won't know you when I'm dead, cause our response to a generation that did too little was to do too much. Now we're both sick, cause I saw when you were drowning and I was wearing a grin. So I'll leave you now before the thick of it, cause darling, I can promise you this, I love you, but I'm also sick. And I hope you can see someday this will make sense. Like back when I told you I was old, I told I'd make some money. We'll shove out another hit and call it Nicole. And every echo needs a voice, and every echo has a choice. But I didn't choose you.